Snel verrassing heeft hij. Snel verrassing heeft hij.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Storm Fury, and this is Zero News. And thank you to those people that have been sat in the chat waiting. Have you nothing better to do with your lives? What do I have to do with you people? But thank you for hanging on. I have located the missing BODSKI. Some of you will know BODSKI as being a regular on the channel. Some of you will not. BODSKI and I have had an interesting relationship. But I do like him, and BODSKI there was a conversation that he and I had a little while back, and so BODSKI's not this big high profile guy, and something I promised on this show was high profile, low profile, it doesn't matter if you've got a story. So anyway, BODSKI, I made a suggestion to him, and that was that because we had differing opinions, that maybe he should start his own channel and do his own stuff. He's quite the personality, so why not? And so he went off and he made a YouTube channel, banned. He tried, I think, to join a couple of websites where he was typing stuff out, like blog sites, banned. And the one thing that cannot be ignored is the fact that this guy's free speech has been taken away. So BODSKI has actually been on this channel before, quite some time ago, due to the fact that there seems to be connection problems every time we try this. I'm gonna try and give BODSKI a call this time and see if you can hear him on the loudspeaker, because we just can't get this working okay. So we're gonna see if that works. But BODSKI's got a lot to say, and today I want to try and pin him down to I suppose you could call it his origin story, because he's got a very interesting story to tell. So without me speaking for him, I think it's time to try and give him a call and see if he picks up. BODSKI, if you're watching, I'm going to try and call you. Hello, mate. You are live on Zero News. How are you doing?
Not bad, mate. Not bad.
Can you give us a count to 5 to see if the audience can hear you?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Can you hear him, everybody, please? Give me an answer if you could. Just want to... I don't know if it's filtering my responses. Good. Can you give me a thumbs up, guys? Just so I know. I don't know how far behind this chat is. I can't, because I'm using both phones, so I can't actually see the. Actually, no, I've got the computer, haven't I? I just realised. I'll have a quick look on here. Oh, I see. There's all the comments, right? So, I hate the fact that they keep censoring the chat. It's so annoying. Right. So, can you hear him, guys? Can you hear BODSKI before we move on? Yes, you can all hear him. Great. Okay, I'm going to look at your comments on here because I can't see them properly on StreamYard. Everything's still working? So, BODSKI, welcome back to Zero News. Me and you have had an up and down relationship. Is that fair to say?
Yes, it's not been bad, Tom.
It's never been bad. It's never been bad. I've always liked you, and you know that. We just have some slight differences on opinions with stuff, that's all. But what I was hoping you would do is, you told me a story before about I think it was about a bad breakup, if I remember, but also what happened as a result from that in law. Could you take us back to then and tell us this story? Because this story's led to you doing 5 years research and God knows what else, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a burden. But I met my partner beginning of 2010, the end of 2009, 2010. Admired her from a distance for many years.
Oh,
Couldn't
okay.
believe my luck. Couldn't believe my luck when I landed her, and even more so when she said yes to a marriage. Now, foolishly, that was through alcohol, and I haven't touched a drop since. We got married, blah de blah. Within 2-3 weeks, Valentine's Day, she burst my open, and then began the adventure of violence.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you just go wind back there? Can you say what you just said again?
Sorry, what part? Sorry.
Oh, you said within 3 weeks she did what?
Right, within 3 weeks she punched me and burst my eye open.
Oh.
That was Valentine's night, and then it just continued for there.
And how long were you?
My cry.
How long? I won't interrupt again, but how long were you together before you got married?
Oh, it wasn't long, Tom.
Right.
Wasn't long. I think I was approaching 40 and panicked, I think.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Peer pressure, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So that continued. Her cry would be that if I says I was phoning the police, she would just say, well, I'll just tell them that you hit me first.
Oh, I see.
So that's the way it went. So anyway, it was turbulent, the occasional fallouts, where I would take a breach of the peace just for the sake of what's the point in saying and taking it through the court. Now, at that particular time, I was still part of this structure that they call justice, but I'll get on to that a wee bit later. So that was fine. So we finally broke up. Everyone was, well, it was up and down because she kept saying that she was seeing me. If I was out on the scooter at the time, if she seen me, she knew I was myself. So she'd go and make up some bullshit story that I've attacked her or threatened her or whatever.
So basically, from the time you got married, this just began, yes?
Pretty much. My grandfather was in hospital. He was due to die, and I think she thought I was getting money coming to me. And then once we'd obviously dealt with my grandfather's funeral, she started going, well, there's no money here, so I started getting abused. But the women's had previous, but you find that out afterwards. And the guy she went with after me, he ended up killing himself as well. So it was like, she's tried various options to get to me. But anyway, we broke up, and I went away and got another job, set myself up.
How long have you been together when you broke up?
On paper it was 2.5 years, but officially it was like 1.5 years.
Right.
But I mean, I'd put myself into the loony bin and everything just to escape her. And the first night that she came up to visit, she punched fuck out me in the smoking hut.
Jesus. Okay.
Anyway, cut a long story short, the psychiatric, the doctors, psychiatrists, etc., he knew about that, which was then pertinent later on. So everything was documented. So after 5 months, I say I got myself sorted. And she started obviously noticing that I wasn't about at the times that I was normally about, etc. So she started, after 5 months of silence, she started making up, or every time she was out with the dog, I would approach her with a knife, blah, blah, blah. So I was getting lifted for it.
Wow.
Because don't forget, up here, a breach of the peace is a serious crime. We don't get removed from the area and dropped off at the train station after milkshaking somebody.
It's a bit leftist up there.
Oh, fuck, it's Nicola Sturgeon, Tom. Come on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Fran Davidosi. So that was fine. So I was getting lifted. So the total amount of times that I was lifted due to her allegations was 27 times. So constantly arrested, kept in at the weekend. It was always, that's the way it is. They'll come in the Thursday, make up some shite about the Friday, you're into the Monday, and this is constant. But I had to put myself into the frame of mind, well, I've lost all my employer. That's me, I've no job. What else am I going to do? Just to put myself into that mental state of, I'm getting locked away like a dog to be dragged into a court in chains and nobody given an option. I don't want to go up the stairs. How can they make you go up the stairs into a court that you're unfamiliar with, which I'll come back into later on.
Mm-hmm.
So even then I started going, well, wait a minute. When I started going to court, I had wrote a 23-page document outlining everything.
Educate me a little bit again, because in case I've just lost in case I've lost the thread there. So exactly what were the reasons for going to court?
Going to court because she kept persisting in these things, and obviously don't forget I was arrested and detained.
So you were trying to stop all this madness, yeah?
Aye, well, it was a case of, the bit that I forgot. The building that I stayed in was also the building that she stayed in, but in different houses.
Oh, okay.
Right, so for 5 months, it's all the wee facts, right, for 5 months, I was coming out my house and turning left. If I turned right, I would go by her house, and it gave her probably some sort of causation, right? So I always went out the other way, but she would still persist with saying, no, I met him, and I was out with the dogs late one night. It was about 2 o'clock now. 2 o'clock, I've already been up for my first piss at that 2 o'clock, let alone being up. So I'm going, that wasn't me, and because the coppers had came at various times through the previous arrests, they knew when I was sleeping and when I wasn't sleeping, so they knew that was bullshit. Another example, she would phone up the police and say that I'd broken in and stole her iPhone and her iPad. Cops went through it, sussed it, seen it, the dogs had jumped the couch and uncovered the said items.
Wow, okay.
And she walked for that. That was, well, that's a charge of perverting the course of justice.
Wow.
And she walked for that. Another time she attacked me, it was about November, she attacked me coming out of a pub. She just went into a maddie and says that I was fucking with something.
Were you sustaining injuries from this, Bod?
Used to stay what, sorry?
Sorry, were you sustaining injuries from all of this?
All throughout the thing where I was, obviously my BODSKI, my son was there, he was 14 at the time, his wee pal was there, she bust my open, as I say, it was Valentine's Day night, and that's when it started, as I say. She would like kick you and punch you and stuff like that, try and drag you about. I mean, she was strong, she was into all that CrossFit and everything, which later transpired she was using that as a cover for the guy she had been shagging before she met me. So there was nights where she was coming in for the gym, dripping and sweating, God knows what else. But you develop you know what that smells like, so I was kind of living with that as well, and then she was giving the guilt trip, well, you don't come near me and everything. I'm going, no wonder, because you smell of somebody else.
Oh,
and what's the fucking point? As I say, so that was like getting arrested, getting things, what pissed her off, obviously, was the majority of the 27 times I was taking over questions. The police knew that she was bullshitting. They would bring me back home and drop me off at the front of her house. So that was antagonising the situation. Yeah. But when you're going through that on a personal level, that's like a wee bit of twos up back to her. So I think that's like a wee bit of retribution, because that's all you've got, because these people are coming and taking you away and asking you questions based on a lunatic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it is, unfortunately, if I tell you, 2012, if I remember right, Police Scotland well, they changed the Strathclyde Police to Police Scotland, and that was the same year I was going through this, and the law had slightly changed, but because of being ignorant and being part of this system, I was unaware of it. Basically, sorry, I've lost my train of thought.
No, you're fine. So, I mean, how long? Because we can work backwards and forwards. How long were you in this legal tangle?
Officially with her, well, it was a good 14 months. And the reason that they obviously do it that way is the last thing they want is not guilty throughout, take it to trial, because they know that if they take it to trial, the jurisdiction changes and you are then judged by 12 people, as opposed to the sheriff or the judge turning around saying, well, this is my judgment, you're getting 12 years for it. Which then later transpires that the judge and sheriff isn't even part of the court. It's actually all a fraud, but we'll get on to that in a minute.
God, can you do me one favour? Could you just hold the thought that you've got? Because I've got a slight technical hitch here and I just want to fix it. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine, mate.
Right, 2 seconds. Adding stream. And we should be back. Okay.
Hello.
Okay, I'm sorry, mate. So you were saying, if you remember?
Oh God, head's buzzing.
Take your time. Take your time.
Anyway,
I did ask you how long you were in this legal entanglement, how long it lasted.
Well, don't forget, I was going through, before the legal entanglement, I was going through the daily, well, here's the cops, what have I meant to have done this time?
Yeah, true, yeah, let's add it all together. How long?
If you're constant 2 year, constant, week in, week out, daily, it could be 3 in the morning, it could be fucking 6 in the morning, it could be anybody. So I'd started also noticing things like, now the police had arrested me so many times, it's not as if my name wasn't known. Now I was under the impression that you had the police that would come on with a claim or a charge against you.
Mm-hmm.
They would then approach what we call up here the Procurator Fiscal. So it would go to CPS, but it's not. I don't know what it's like down there, but up here, the Procurator Fiscal is the police's boss. The Procurator Fiscal tells the police what they're doing and who they're charging. How fucked up is that for the start?
That's pretty fucked up.
So that's blatantly in front of us, which then takes me on to the likes of.
But I'm sorry to interrupt. Botman's just raised a point, and I was thinking, I'm only going to say this because I was thinking this very, very same thing. When you said 2 years, Bolton said, Jesus, you must be suffering PTSD after all that. And I was thinking the same thing. That must have had some massive negative effect on you, even when it was over.
Well, I'll get to that, but
okay.
And yes, that's right. It is. Only in hindsight, retrospect, I'm going, fuck. Basically what happened is I was 40-year-old and all of a sudden I was up in these charges that weren't even true, right? After whatever, 9 months of getting arrested, picked up, questioned, constant locked up. If the police just didn't want to let you go, it was funny, let's lock him in there. So I would always shout suicide thing, right? So that they put me in the fishbowl, and then I would fall asleep because the copper that lifted me would have to sit there and watch me. So it was a wee bit of internal fuck you.
Yeah.
I don't mind you lift me because when you know you're 100% honest with them, you think, or you imagine, or you're misled to believe. Do you know what I mean? That you're helping them when you're yourself. Hence the no comment thing. But again, when you know you're 100% in yourself, that you're no lying, you're going to tell the truth.
Did you ever find yourself questioning yourself, even though you knew the truth, because of the fact that everybody's against you?
I know, but the way that it all ended up is because she kept it going, the police, etc. We had a seconded officer that had just joined the domestic violence unit out of Kilmarnock, and obviously it's to see where they want to specialise, see if they've got a flair for it. Anyway, she'd obviously had something to prove, and also because I was quite chipper, because I knew I was telling the truth, I'd be quite cocky, possibly arrogant, right? And that pissed her off. So all of a sudden, I was getting phone calls to say, could you come into the police station, just a couple of things to tie up here, and then everything will be alright. And I'm going, I smell shite. So I just blanked them. They went out to my elderly mother's house, chapped her door, acted all sweet and right, and there was no problem, and David's just been silly, and could you possibly get him to come in?
Line, we just want to chat.
Yes, right. And I went, Mum, I go in there, I'll not go back out. I didn't quite think I'd get to jail because it wasn't a jailable offence, right? So I went, I'll not get back out, they'll keep me in over the weekend. I did. They put me in all weekend, took me to court on the Monday, back down into the court cells, wondered where my papers were at 4:30, and that's why the papers weren't coming down, is because I was going to the jail.
Wow.
Now, this was a big, hold on a minute, I remember about 3 o'clock this morning, 2 people coming into my cell, a guy and a woman with polo shirts on. They looked like cops, but didn't really seem like cops, but they were asking me questions when I was delirious at 3, 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
Do you owe debts, or do you have you got enemies? What the fuck are you asking me that for? And I went, well, I'm away back to sleep. And that's what it turned out to be. They were making sure that I wasn't going in to get stabbed or whatever. Because they knew they were sending me up the road, obviously, at that time, before I'd even went.
I see.
So I spent a week in the prison. It was alright, because when you get to 40-year-old, you know a few people. So that sorted me, and I wasn't a prick in life, so I wasn't getting the threat of violence or anything, if anything, it was the contrary.
How long did they stick you in there for?
Just a week. But a week's like fucking a year.
To me, I mean, I've never been in prison. To me, a week sounds scary, you know?
Well, it's like, people don't think about it, but it's like down to the food that they give you, and you can't even get a decent shite, and you know, it's just not right. It's not right, and the smell is just fucking. Oh, it's the jail, I think, man.
Wow.
I mean, luckily I didn't go to the big old boys, the OG, up to the bar, the Barwini, and anything like that. I was lucky that way. But it was enough at 40-year-old, because you're going, well, how do you act in prison at 40-year-old? Do I need to know this? How do I survive?
Yeah. You
don't know what you're getting out. You think it's 7 days, but on day 3, you think this could be a month. It might just fucking go 3 months.
That's exactly the thoughts that I have. Or what if they extend it because I do something wrong, or blah, blah, blah.
And then you've got the problem as well, is this, once you have that, yet again, a number, once you have a prison number, that's you only one step away from fucking going straight up the road for what, based on people's opinion, emotion, sentiment at the time, just through what some insidious belief that it's a power thing where they'll just make up bullshit, and the next minute the police can come to the door and start fucking me about.
So at some point during all of this craziness, was this when you started doing your research?
I'd written to that 23-page document. Basically, I'd written.
What was that?
I'd transcribed every single event that happened since I met her, and I mean in detail.
Right.
So I recalled that, typed it out, asked the sheriff questions about why is this happening, how can this happen, how is it when I sack my lawyer because he's been a prick, everybody syndicates, I can't get legal representation, the courts tell me I need legal representation, even though I've represented myself 3 times, but what in retrospect is no fact and no truth can enter a court.
So
they can't help me.
When you originally presented this document, do you feel that it was taken seriously?
Yes, because the Procurator Fiscal was wanting to cite that sheriff that I'd sent a communication to, and they were wanting to use him against me because of the stuff I'd written in it. Now, don't forget, if you write a statement, there's obviously elements of truth and elements of whatever, fabrication, right? So they were trying to use the power of conversion legally to convert that from a plea for help into a, oh, fuck you, I done this and I done that, but you're not getting me, that kind of attitude. And that's not what it was all about.
Wow.
But they then dismissed that because they knew that I was starting to go, well, in the letter as well. And then when they refer you to like a criminal justice team, that's to see if you've got any remorse for your crime. But how are you meant to feign remorse when you've not committed the crime? So they got the copy of the same letter. And
I've heard someone talk about this, where people will literally visit you expecting you to show remorse for something that you may never have done. It's hard
enough to feel other emotions, let alone try and get your head around it. I never really done this. What am I meant to do? Oh, the sorrow. You got to turn into fucking Rita Hayworth and start swooning. I mean, it's pathetic. But that was only really the beginning of it. So, once we've went to court, etc., 14 times, in and out, no guilty, blah, blah, going through it and everything, I started picking up, wait a minute, the press are starting to get a bit interested in me. Now, as I said earlier on, 2012, Strathclyde Police turned to Police Scotland. 2012 was also the year that they tweaked the law, Section 38. Anybody with a Section 38 and or Section 39 is to be afforded no mercy. And that was an email that would ruin all his solicitors.
For people that don't know, could you explain Section 38 and 39?
Section 38 is like if you're harassing somebody or pestering them or making their life a misery. A Section 39 is stalking. Now, before we get any further about stalking, here's the scenario. Imagine a building. It's not a mansion. It's like what we call maybe a townhouse, but there's 4 townhouses in that block. I stayed at the side of one, she stayed at the front of the building, but there was a house between the 2 of us, which was impossible. I found it easy because I had no interest in her whatsoever. It was done, you know.
Yeah.
And then when
you feel like that, you just don't even want to see the person, do you? You just done.
I'm interested in it. Do you know what I mean? I missed my dogs, but that was about it.
Yeah, I understand.
So that was fine, and we went to court, and I was not near her, but she would drive by the court knowing that I was there because she'd obviously been told my court dates because she was playing the victim. She was the victim. It was me that battered her. It's me that goes about stabbing, wanting to stab her. It's me that threatened to put my helmet through her window. It was me. What else did you say? Oh, the tablet and the iPhone. What else? Fuck. Well, there was one time I was shouting at her outside, she just was winding me up, and I went, oh, fuck it. I ended up, the police took a breach, because you think, well, I've never been done with nothing until I've met this skanky whore. So, I'm alright, I might as well take a couple of wee China hits, do you know what I mean? Unbeknown to me that once there was a total divide separation, she would start this onslaught of bullshit. And then this policewoman get involved, and she got a bee in her bonnet, and she decided that she was bringing me in. So I handed myself in that time, and that's what started. they charged me, and I went, well, how can you, I've been cocky all this, I went, how the fuck can you charge double jeopardy? You can't ask me, release me, no further evidence, and then come back and go, well, we're going to do you with it anyway. So I was going, sorry?
I don't understand how that can happen.
It happened.
I'm with you. Yeah.
So that was fine, court and everything, right? That was fine. My bail address when I came out of the jail was to my mum's, and my mum only stays in a one-bedroom house. So I slept in the living room floor for 9 months when I had a perfectly good house down where I stayed, but it's just because she stayed next door. So I'm going, well, how does that work? If I didn't get bail to my mum's address, they would have just took me up the road. Do you know what I mean? So they've got you every single way, you know, and as I've said, touched on before about standing up, or you shouldn't be in the court in the first place. Do you know what I mean? We shouldn't be in a court. Court's no for us. A court's just for administration and corporate company stuff. It's for suing folk. Oh, he ran into my house last night with his truck. Right, we'll sue him. That's what court's for. Court's no for us.
So how long, when we will get to this, how long were you involved with this whole legal entanglement, and how, when and how did it end?
Well, it's never really stopped, Tom. What's happened is, I know it's never stopped. Well, in the last year or two, it stopped. Oh, it gets fucking more wicked, like.
A couple of years. Okay.
No, that was just tough.
Wow. Okay.
But then that snowballed because they put me in the paper that I was a convicted stalker. I'm like, well, how's that work? Because I've not even been convicted yet. This was in the paper before anything had even been decided. So it just shows you where, if it's written for day one, what's going to happen to you. Everything else is just theatre. Anyway, so that's happened. I printed my name and my new address so that everybody, including my ex, could get it, and including the people that stayed in the street before I'd even moved in.
Right.
So they doxed me before I turned up. So when I turned up, my downstairs neighbour had the chest out and everything started. He's an older gentleman, but he's still territorial and everything. He'd obviously read about me in the paper before I moved into the address.
Someone's asking what paper?
The Ayrshire Post.
Say again?
The Ayrshire Post, just a local one. Right. But I've had reports that it's been in other local papers down south as far as Birmingham, so it'll be something. But it was shite. It was one of the pictures where they'd obviously sat for an hour clicking away and then went through the roll and went, right, it looks dead evil and nagging because I've screwed my face.
I understand. I understand this.
So there was a defamation slander trial with public media, if you want, before it. Yeah. But this seems as if, like, because how dare I write a letter to a sheriff trying to put the facts across when I just know what the court's about. The court's only there to administer a charge and fucking take a penny.
Is it also a case of you play it our way? There's only one way to play this, and you have to go through all these different things.
Well, it's stacked against us anyway, because if you've got the money, you're walking. That's all they're interested in is money, right? If they can't get money for it, it's legal aid. Your legal aid's paid, but it puts out the flag that you're just a fucking imbecile. You can't afford to pay your way. So they'll punish you in a different way by taking a £400 fine off you.
Is it almost like, well, this person can't defend themselves, they haven't got the money to? Right.
Yes. Right. Again, the whole system's set up that way anyway, because the lawyer that you have the illusion of freely choosing and going and talking to and getting them to represent your case, they'd have no allegiance to you whatsoever. Their first allegiance is to the Crown and other bodies that they work with in that court every day. They will never go against anything that happens within the court or the Crown.
Can I bring up something that someone's just said online? Because I know you're into all this stuff, so you may be able to put some clarity on this. They said, everyone sign yourselves up to common law courts. Register your birth certificate with them, and the normal courts can't deal with you under their maritime law.
Done it.
done it.
Done all these things. Well, that's a pretty simple process. Basically, what they're saying there is it takes a living man, a living person, not a person, a living being, to actually go and physically do that. You know, a computer's not going to do that for you because it, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the idea of saying, well, it took a man to input that into the computer. That's how when they say it's a computer error, it's not really, is it? It's somebody that's fucked up the input.
Yeah.
So it's just, I mean, as I've said to you numerous times, it's like, it's so simple, but yet it's fucking, it's so intricate how they get away. It's just, through time, do you know what I mean? You understand it. It's just, it's fucking.
And you've lived through this now. So, what's that? 8 years?
Aye, sorry. So what happened when I'd moved in, everything was fine. I've not really been close. It's like most families these days, but that's been part of the plan. Break down the family unit so that you've got your children's got no respect for you. They're not interested. Millennials. So I've not been close to my son due to obviously, Christ, that was the 90s. So there was
about your son, and that you haven't really got a relationship, have you, due to all this?
So one day I was up with obviously the first grandson, and I thought I'll pop by if he's in. I'll speak to him if he's no, fair enough. Went up, he was in. I went in. I went, hi Harris, my wee grandson. I says, just well, your papa turned up because you wouldn't be seeing him, right? And that was enough for Harris's mum.
Wow.
To say, right, Jay, get him out of this house, get him out of this house. And I'm going, what the fuck? Anyway, cut a long story short, somebody had phoned the coppers or something. I get home, this was a Sunday morning, windows open. I was like, somebody at the door. Oh, police ran down to the door because what are they at my door for? They must be looking for somewhere. David came over me, brought me. I went, no, my mate's coming. You'll need to come back some other time. Went to shut the door. So they've come in the door. It was a female and a male. So the female, I thought, I better not resist with her because I'm not one for resisting. Do you know what I mean? All through that time with my ex, I'd done everything. I was totally compliant. But since I started working this shit out, I went, no, fuck yous. So he's given it the stop resisting. All I was doing was hold my arm up. And it is amazing how much strength you get just out of nowhere that you can have guys think,
you talk about the strength. At the beginning of all this, were you a bit like a lost lamb, wondering what was going on?
I was going, what's happening? He's like, oh, we need to come in. I goes, well, you need to tell me. He's like, no, you need to come in. We'll tell you when you come in. I says, you'll fucking tell me to do it. You just come through my door. I never invited you in. You're fucking. You're meant to be like vampires. You can't come across a threshold. We can do what we want. All right, no bother. Took us in, and that was the copper that I made sit all day and night of his through shift. That's in the June, so it was. It's quite warm.
But you build up. So you're saying you build up a strength over time.
It's a crazy thing I do. I mean, there's fuck all to me. Do you know what I mean? But I've had, and then exactly a month later, I've come in one of the scooters into the street, and the cop car come in, and I'm going, you can't be here for me. Have they done forever? We went from here to the shop to here, and I haven't seen the cops, I haven't seen MDL, I haven't seen the ex, I haven't seen my son. What the fuck? So I've kind of mouthed to him, I went, are you here for me? And the passenger one went, aye. I went, right, okay, fair enough. So they've got the car, and I went, well, what is it? Whilst I've been unlocking my front door, we've had reports that you're swapping registration plates in your scooter. I went, what the fuck is that? I says, are you traffic division? No, but we've had a report and we're here to deal with it. So by this time I had my door open. I went, well, you can check that scooter. It's a blue T5, Vespa Douglas. There's the registration plate. It's on tax, MOT, it's covered, right? So they didn't like that because once I was in the house, so I went, well, I've dismissed you now, no further business, I don't need your services anymore. So that's what pissed them off.
Right.
So I'm in the house, and I'm just ignoring the chop, 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 kind of annoying chop, 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 chop. I'm going, oh no.
No, you're good. You're
And
good.
Sorry.
So okay. So how did? And I know we're going to have to come back and cover some other bits, but how did the legal? I know you said it hasn't ended, but okay. So what position are we in, and how did we get there, and where are we at now?
Now,
from because obviously there wasn't an end, you said, but was there an end of sorts?
Well, since I challenged that time, because as I say, because I've tried to dismiss them, yes, I was a bit cocky. Was I threatening them? No. Was I swearing at them? No. What was happening was they were stuck outside a building whilst the occupier is talking to them outside, and all the neighbours are going, oh, they dicks, they've got the authority and the power, so they need to act upon it. So all of a sudden I've heard, David, we're going to put the door in. And I've went, put the door in for what? I mean, what do you want to say? I says, get the fuck the lawyers. Where the fuck? There was 12 of them. There was a dog car at the bottom of the road.
We're in this, just to be clear, we're in a society where someone can say something about you, and in order to prove it's true, you can have your door kicked off the hinges.
Well, pretty much, and I'll go on to that. I'll quickly go into that in a second. So, they've turned up at the door, and I'm hanging out the window. There's two sergeants appeared with a big red key, and all the rest of the coppers are in the old loghouse, as if I had a firearm or something. And all I said was, you're dismissed, and there's no further service required. Thank you, because I'd satisfied their inquiry. Everything was legal above board, and they didn't like that. So obviously, because I've been talking to them outside, trying to educate them that they've been miseducated and they've not, what they're doing is a revenue collection thing.
Did they take your honesty as arrogance?
Well, the guy that was the passenger seat, he was kind of just laughing. I said, "Why are you fucking laughing?" Because I was wound up by this time. I says, "All you're doing is putting me under fear and duress." I says, "This is terrible." I says, "How is it all right for fucking you to come to my door and breach my peace?" Right? And you think you know everything. I says, "No, but what I do know is my rights."
Right.
And you're fucking using them just now. And the more that you go in, now unfortunately I didn't get the camera on, but I was recording it, right? The police ended up going, "David, we'll just put a door in." I goes, "You can't put a door in. One, two have no committed a crime, but we suspect that you think you've committed a crime." I said, "What? Telling the police to fuck off after they've come out and harassed me about a number plate that wasn't even a number plate, it was fine. And because I've dismissed them, this is what's happening." So they did, they come through the door, 9 of them come up the stair into my bedroom, took the phone off me, turned the phone off. So that's illegal. I took the phone off me and fucking turned it off. It's Police Scotland, remember, this isn't like fucking Wiltshire or Derbyshire, this is fucking Police Scotland. Okay. If you talk about the SS, this is the SS.
Really?
Off. What evidence? Anyway, so that was that time. So one with my son a month previous, took me to court, £400 fine. A month later, lifted me through the door, took me away. Would I get £200 fine for breach of the peace in my own fucking house? I never went anywhere. They came to me and resisting arrest because I didn't let them in the door in the first place. Wow. £200. It was £800 to get out of me.
But when they came to your door, they were kind of coming for a chat at first with a suspected crime. So they weren't telling you they were going to arrest you, were they?
At that time, no, because they didn't arrest me for.
But then they could do you afterwards for resisting arrest.
Well, they've created the crime, haven't they? What they've done is they've come through your door. Okay. A lot of people are hearing. Not a lot of people realise, because when you're stuck in the system, you go, oh, instead of taking that one step back and going, how the fuck did I breach MD's peace? They breached my peace.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then question it, they go, well, you admitted it, and I'm going, well, the only reason I admitted it is because you dragged me for fucking 14 appearances, which was about 18 months or something. I says, you dragged me on that length of time, I'm hardly going to fucking turn around and say no guilty again. So they've got you again, so they're getting money off you when you plead to it, and they're getting money off you when they coerce you into pleading for it. Everybody gets paid. And see when they say that they want to do a plea deal or whatever, the deal's all about the money. What they do is the procurator, the prosecutor, the judge, and your lawyer all go into a room and go, right, well, how are we going to do it? Well, if I get me plead guilty early on a reduced charge, we'll split it 3 ways even. If no, if I can't get me go guilty, then I'll take the fucking dairy and I'll pay for yous too. That's the way it works. It's just all business.
It also
all
seems
business.
as well like check boxes, like if like you were talking about kicking the door in to cover themselves and to kick those. To hit those check boxes. It's almost like kick the door in. This guy's bad. Check. And
well, what they've done, obviously, because that was the whole fucking team for Air that turned up, so they've obviously, what they've done is they've said to each other, right, we'll just say that he threatened us with something.
right,
I'll press the alarm, and the whole shift turned up.
right, okay.
Again, that was, and don't forget, the procurator fiscal will know that any fine that I've paid it off. I've just went, fuck it, get rid of it. Rather than have that hanging.
Let me just try and fix this this connection again. I'm really, really sorry. Just hold that thought, and we'll try one more time. If it goes wrong again, I'm just going to leave it.
Right, cool.
Oh. Remove, and we should be on. Okay, sorry, mate. Carry on.
Right. Well, just a quick question. See that parlour?
That what? Sorry, parlour.
Parlour, right. Now, when I first joined, see when you make a post, when you put a post up, it shows in your feed where everybody else is feeding.
Like a bit like Facebook used to, just with that one big.
I knew that when I first opened it and everything, I started posting stuff.
I'm new to it as well. Don't you click on your own profile to see your own posts, just like VK, or am I wrong about that?
You can click on yours, is it? But I'm certain that you could see your post in amongst everybody else's posts on the feed. But today, everything I've posted hasn't been posted on the main feed. Is it anything to do with your privacy settings, or? No, but then it's See, the thing is, what I don't understand about Parler, just deviating for a second, what I don't understand about Parler is Parler claims to be a free speech site, claims to be clicking to the, I can't remember which amendment it is at the moment because I've gone brain dead today, but in America, but it's regulated by whatever FCC. Right. And I'm thinking, how can you be regulated by these people and be able to truly uphold free speech? I see them as being in contradiction. Do you? Yes, 100%. And I think, you know me, Tom, right? If I could get away with shit on YouTube, it would go on YouTube. My channel's been shut down by YouTube and I've come back on, but I've done it the wrong way, so they're still shutting me down. I've even although done a new account because I'm using the same email, they're not letting me post. Yeah, that's right. You've got to change the email. So, but this Parler, I have not sat in the fence with any issues. And have you had any, other than the maybe disappearing in the main thing? Have you had any other problems with Parler? Because like I said, I'm very new to it, so. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I think it's because it's new. Everybody's just following everybody, but I'm going, what's the point in being selective? Because it might be somebody there listening, watching that's going to be able to sort this shit out. You know what I mean? Absolutely. So okay, so where are we at now with your legal battles and everything else? I mean, it's 2020 and you're saying it's still going on. So what's still going on now? And obviously I realise there are effects
monetary and otherwise from it. And we'll cover those in a second, but I'm just talking about legally.
Legally, it's no so bad now, because after that last time, I think 16, 17, so it's 3 years ago. 3 years ago, obviously the cops had come through the door, no warrant, etc. So obviously I took them to police standards, they passed on to somebody else, such. So I've then started calling for the charge bar audio and video. God did they keep that's away. All the pertinent times when they were holding me, even though I hadn't see, you've got to confirm your name. It's the same as in court. How they get you is they give you your name or what you think is your name, and you confirm it, and that's where they do the conversion.
Okay. This is what you tried to tell me before.
So basically, when you were born, when I was born, the day that I was actually born, come out in my mother's waters, was the 22nd of March. But I was baby, my surname. Well, all of us were baby, whatever the surname is. Right? So as soon as we've been born, we are a fact. And as soon as we're born, we're converted into the dead.
Please expand.
Sorry?
Please expand on that.
Right. It goes into the birth certificate. God, man. Right. I don't see. I'll end up doing that.
Give me the, because obviously, you know, me and you have these not differing opinions. Just I'm new to some stuff. So give me the basic child version to start us off.
Right, layman's version. You're born. A certificate or registration or a document or ledger is created with baby, whatever your surname is, footprint, DNA through blood, etc., etc. All done with a sleight of hand. Doctor needs to, right? So that's then, if you want, them recording that a mothership has birthed and this is our cargo, so they need to administer that. So that certificate of live birth is what they call it. But they're fucked about with the terminology here, and they'll no tell you whether you've got this certificate or not. But of course you have, because this is the initial live birth. It's called a live stillbirth. So it's you score out the still, obviously, if the baby's alive. Now, that baby is then...
Sorry to interrupt you. So someone called Gillian, who I have a lot of respect for, said something that maybe you'll understand. She said, "We are alive until we are 7. That's why people are lost at sea for 7 years and confirmed dead."
8 in Scotland. Scotland's always going to be different. It's 8 years here, 7 years internationally. Again, it's everything's tied to the Vatican, but that's a deep
that's
story.
What I do on another podcast. I do want us to go into the Vatican. I think it's long overdue.
But yes, 7 years, and then at the age of majority, 21, when you get the key. Now that key is just a different spelling of a different key, if you want, right? It's basically meant to be when you get the key to life, but it's actually the key to the tree of life. I'm getting biblical now. I'm not going to turn into which I'm.
I might be really naive by thinking, well, hang on a minute. If you're technically dead after 7 years, surely that gives you an advantage. Or am I being naive?
No, it's like you're going down the line of the methodology of faking your death.
Or just I don't know, kind of being off the grid.
Right. When you're born and you're given a name, your given name, which is later known as a Christian name, that is your name. That is it. No, the surname, the usurper, the serpent, the snake name is not you. That's been created and put into the system to put us into the house or the office of the debtor for life, basically. Right? There's a triad of this trust that I'm talking about, and you have the house or the office of the creditor, which is us. It is us, but we've been deceived because we weren't lied to. We were born into the lie. If you know what,
Yes, I
do you
do.
know what I'm saying?
I get where you're going from.
So basically, when we're born, we are a fact. We're alive, and we wouldn't have a certificate of live birth. That's a certificate that keeps us in the house or the office of the creditor. Now, all energy and mineral wealth in the land that you're born onto is yours. But through sleight and trickery, they created what was known as the birth certificate, which is the certificate of ownership of the legal entity known as the straw man, or whatever name you. I hate using the straw man because it's bandied about with free man.
These days it's a fashionable word, isn't it?
Aye, and the sovereign citizen sort of thing. A lot of them are papered with the ideals, but they're no tying it. It frustrates me as well when I see a couple of people up that do it up here, they've got a channel and they're out shouting in the street about this and that, and I'm going, well, you're just like a mental case because you're walking about with a megaphone yourself, handing out leaflets about stuff that the people haven't got the time to even think about, let alone digest. You know, and he is only trying to put it out there that we are people, we are not persons, and it's the word trickery. Here's a thing that I gave somebody an example.
Word trickery is something I've always tried to avoid with you, but the truth of it is I am very aware of it. I got a friend who has tried to teach me a lot of it, although I've still got a lot to go. And also I noticed in the comments, not just today, but always, there's a lot of people that are very, very, very aware of this. And there's almost two separate languages built out of one.
Yeah. Here's for instance, that I gave an example earlier. You've got a paragraph with, say, 8 lines in it. And in the 5th line, let's say it says 100,000 scientists says that fluoride is good for your teeth, including Dr. Spock. As soon as the politicians do it all the time, as soon as they put a word included or including in it, everything that is written before that word does not exist. So they can make a promise. They can make a promise X, Y, and Z, and then say, and that'll be including Black Lives Matter. So all they are saying is, it's Black Lives Matter. It's nothing to do with anything else.
Right. I'm with you.
You know, it's that word trickery.
So that moment in that document is where you completely just wipe everything you've said, because that was for eye candy. That was to be expected, and then
right.
Yeah.
But when you think about any kind of legal forms, official forms, bank forms, passport, or whatever, right? This is the bit about the 4 corners. Your 4 corners is basically your sheet of paper. Anything that's written within that, and it's in a box, underlined, brackets, does not exist on the document. But because we've been misled and misedged, 1966 they stopped grammar, teaching grammar in Latin, and it was once said that Latin is the mathematics of English. You need to understand Latin.
I do believe it's a huge loss. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And because that's been taken away,
it's also been so integral in this country for so many years that it's whether people stop teaching it or not, it's woven into the fabric of everything, isn't it?
Totally. Here's for example, wee bits of trivia. You go into court, all the people are wearing black, all the judge, the prosecutor, the clerks, your lawyer. The reason that they're wearing them is because they're mourning our death. They're called mourning robes, not as in yawning in the morning, but mourning as in weep, weep, cry, wake, wake. And again, it's words again. Good morning means that you survived the death that you suffered the night before. you know, it's fucking what?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
You know, without Latin or a kind of modicum amount of understanding how the Latin works, we'll never be free.
So bringing it back round, because and boxing fans, certainly nothing like Kip's clips. All due respect to Kip. So I asked the question, then I cut you off accidentally. So where are we at now legally?
Legally, I've basically exhausted the whole complaints thing as far as Scottish Parliament's concerned, the police, etc., etc. So I've turned into a phenomenal document creator, and they just ignore me, even though I'm using this is a tacit agreement due to your acquiescence, which means that in law and legally means that they're agreeing because they've not contested it. So they're agreeing with everything I'm saying. But again, when you totally exhaust the complaints procedure, then you're pretty much fucked. Unless you're chaining yourself like to Buckingham Palace or something. You know, you need to make a really big fucking noise, a big statement.
And any time all of this to be fixed with money.
Yes, it could have been. It could have been, and that's what pisses me off with Tommy, is because Tommy's lack of insight into even his criminal barristers, etc. You know, they're only in it for the money. They're no interested in getting Tommy off it. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking even better for them if Tommy keeps getting to jail.
Yeah, see, I mean,
it just sails into the whole system. Folk are getting paid.
But what else can he do?
This is what I'm saying is, well, there is ways.
So that if you don't use it, you're fucked, and if you do use it, you're fucked.
The way it works, right, is somebody makes a claim, right, against you, and we've all been taught we just need to go and see a lawyer. The lawyer stalls us, blah blah blah. Doesn't put in any kind of contest or anything, right? We'll take this to court. What a solicitor should be doing, or a common law advocate or whatever, should be saying, well, what's the claim? Let's see the claim. You must contest that claim within that time limit. I think it's 14 days. If you don't make a counter claim, then that's taken as another acquiescence, as if, right, well, fuck you, we'll take you through the system. You've got to make a counter allegation, because the counter allegation, no matter how bizarre it is, nullifies the first one.
And Gillian has just mentioned, and I was reading something about this the other day, about how they've changed the Bible and they actually removed parts of it so that they could get away with this too.
What they do is a Bible that's in a courtroom has had the word Lord taken out of every single page. So that doesn't tie it to the ultimate creator.
Because I'm just aware of time, Bod, and obviously we will come back. But where are you at now?
The last correspondence that was made was me emailing the police standards, my local cop shop. I basically put them on notice that if they ever sent any of their foreign agents to my door under any investigation or inquiry, I'll not be providing any service or response to them, and I will defend my property this time. They'll not be coming through the door on the day I'll be taking some of them. And they've not been near me ever since. So whether that's Lucky Whiteheader or the way he's woke up, we can't harass him anymore. Do you know what I mean? I'll go about, I'm on my bike or in the street, and I've got a document there that I'll show to them. Listen, the police are just going to rip it up, tear it up, or take it away and laugh. They'll still lift you. But the simple fact that you've put that in and you can prove that you've put them on notice, in that jurisdiction, that you don't operate within that jurisdiction. As long as you don't kill somebody, steal something off somebody, don't reproach as well. That's what we need to change. We need to start challenging that authority that only exists in your mind. It only exists in your mind. They're no any better just because they've got a warrant card or they've got a police number. They can't be afforded more rights than you and I. And if you look into it deep, we've got the same powers as a police constable has. And we can arrest police constables.
Well, this is something that's come up recently, actually. You know, it seems the powers of arrest that we should have are in question when you try and use them.
They've written them out, they've based them on statute on a de facto government, which means it's not even the true government.
Can I just stop you 1 second? Guy, people in chat, I realise, I don't know if it was me that started it or whatever else, and I apologise if I did, but as Bolton quite rightly said, no cross-channel piss on here. It will lead to an instant ban because it's just led to me having to stop BODSKI and start addressing the chat. That's not going to happen. And what I'll do, I know most people are decent, but what I'll do if people do want to bring stuff from other channels is I'll just disable the chat in future, which I'd rather not do because we have a lot of good people come on the chat. So please don't bring chat stuff from other channels on here. We don't want it, and we will just stop the chat altogether. I do apologise, BODSKI. Please continue.
All right. Where was I touching on?
I apologise, mate. Sorry.
Let's go into the word sort of thing. You've got to think about. I mean, we speak. What they say probably is. Don't forget, when you're in school, you don't know how to create words and everything. It's like you need to learn how to spell. It's spelling. So what they say is our language being babble, basically.
I was always told there's the language we speak and there's legalese, and to survive you need to understand legalese.
Yeah, legalese.
Is that a simplified way of putting things?
Aye, legalese. Aye, it's just it's no English. That's the problem because we've been educated. If you see, let me think, the driver's license, you get citations or a summons. That's another keyword, summons. What else do you summon? The demons.
Yeah,
anyway.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know, it's like birth and birth
and I'm just anti-authoritarian. So when someone summons me, I'm like, fuck you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. More of us should be doing that.
Yeah.
More of us should be going, well, wait a wee minute. You haven't really got any. Right, you've got a police uniform on. It just means that you dress up in a costume and get paid for what we do for free. But that's been lost. You know, it's like the coppers are there and what they say, and you've got to resist and this, that, and next thing. But when and where do we get to the point we go, well, you're actually taking a piss and that's assault? Do you know what I mean? And you're now creating stuff. That's too much power we've afforded them. And I think that's what we've forgot, even our forebears have forgotten as well, because it's been so, the whole shit that's happening just now, it's been so slowly happening. Nobody noticed. If it takes 3 generations, even better, because you've forgotten about it.
Do you think we're having another cultural revolution right now?
This here, see now that they've shut Leicester down, that's them testing the rest of the population to see how much shit we'll put up with. This is them starting, they will try Leicester, then it'll be Nottingham, Leicester, Birmingham, then it'll be fucking Glasgow, Edinburgh, London. And then it'll be all shut down and it'll all be guarded because what they're talking about Leicester is they're shutting all the roads off.
I also noticed as well that they talked with Leicester about, I was watching a piece on Sky News, and they were giving them the government quite a lot of shit, and they mentioned all these different gatherings where people got together, and they mentioned literally every single one except for Black Lives Matter. But they were talking about bringing what people don't seem to be getting is they are using things like Leicester as an opportunity to pass new laws. With each time something's happening, I mean, they're not even hiding it. He said, "Oh, we may, meaning we may have to introduce a new law." Well, they've already introduced how many? What, 2 or 3 already?
Again, there's the use of words as well, as they always pass it off as a new law when it's no a law, it's company rules, a contract law that we've no part of it, and we shouldn't be. We just, through our ignorance, we just bout it because we think statutes, rules, regulations, acts are all. Why is it called an act? It's theatre. Statute is all a Justinian thing. Going back to the Emperor Justinian, it was him that kind of. Let's put it this way: the Justinian deception was basically fucking perfected. I think it was a few years after the Magna Carta, which was basically there to cancel that out. So even though we bang on about the Magna Carta means just as much as the shite rule that you wipe your arse with, because it's been nullified by Rome.
Wasn't the Magna Carta actually? I don't know if it was physically destroyed, but it was destroyed as a meaningful document, and then supposedly brought back years later.
I think it was come back when they brought in the Bill of Rights, etc.
And it was watered down, wasn't it?
The Great Fire of London and everything out. But again, there was your false flag. There's your fucking Rumours nightclub or whatever you call it. Do you know what I mean? That was your old false flag, your 1666. That was again to pass these laws that's kept us in this servitude.
I'm so sorry. Can you just give me 1 second again? Bolton, could I just ask a favour, or any mod? I don't care who's causing the trouble. I don't care if I'm friends with them. I don't care if we're best buddies. Anybody that keeps arguing, would you please time them out? Because it's attracting my attention. It's attracting the attention of the people in the chat. And I don't care who's doing it. They need to stop. Thank you. Sorry, Bod.
Alright. Where'd I get to?
Sorry, mate.
No, it's alright.
Well, so tell me where you're at now. Thank you, Bolton.
Well, don't get me wrong, when you was talking about the PTSD right at the beginning of the chat, it did definitely have that effect because my methodology since, I mean, it's obviously, it did affect me, the jail thing, even if it was only a pussy ass 7 days, but you just don't know how long you're going to be in for. And since I've come out and I've moved into this flat, I hardly leave my bedroom.
Wow.
I'm in my bedroom.
Okay, I'm okay.
I'm out of my bedroom, basically. I don't know, I'll meet my dad and shit like that. But in my head, I'm going, well, restrict myself because it could happen again. And when people say, well, as long as you don't do anything, because I've never done anything in the fucking first place. What they've done is created a criminal on paper. Do you know what I mean?
I've seen it. This part, what you were talking about now, I've seen it for myself, where the person doesn't have to be involved. Facts don't necessarily need to be involved, but entire profile can be made of a person on paper that they had nothing to do with and doesn't have anything factually correct, maybe except the name.
Totally created a legend. That's all they've done. Created a legend in people that looks as if, well,
I have actually seen that. I do know where you're coming from.
Fucking crazy. So, on paper, fair enough, I'm a fucking lunatic. But
aren't we all on paper?
Right, but no, that's what I mean. It's like, what? How is that? Right, okay. Right, I need to start questioning this, but it was the fact that when I wrote to the judge,
it's a great way as well of making people blame themselves, isn't it? On paper, you're in the wrong.
Well, don't get me wrong, Tom. I was at that crossroads where I went, here, but I knew what she was at. She was trying to push me into the same fucking demise as previous people, and it turned out somebody after me. And she did try that, and I was at the crossroads where I went, fucking no chance. No chance, and for some reason I was energised with everything that happened before that, and that's what started me going, no, I need to look at this.
Right, okay.
Do you know what I mean? But that was the crossroads. I could have let that control me. Maybe not necessarily fucking Harry Carey, but I could have let that totally depress me and possibly lead to my demise. But instead of that, I went, no, fuck you, bitch. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to let it, because if I disappear and I'm not walking about the high street and people are not seeing me for years, then they'll go, oh, he's fucking guilty then.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it'll be a way up. Way up the street like fucking decock. Do you know what I mean? Just to fucking go, listen.
Yeah, no, I get that. So
one person said to me, are you no fear? And I'm going, what for? I've never done fuck all. Who's going to hit me because of her? She's a fucking, she's a murderer.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So
I've been calmed down, but no, it's just well, you know what it is. It's that fucking journey to try and get as much shit out there, and I'm actually trying to cause as much noise as possible.
Well, this is what I was going to ask you, because I'm aware of the time. But how? The reason I say I'm aware of the time, Bod, is because as I said to you earlier on, this studio I've got a limited time in.
Yeah.
But what are your, especially after being banned from a couple of places, which was unbelievable, but what are your plans now? And obviously we will come back, we will do another interview, but just to kind of wrap this one up, what's your plans now, and how can people find you if you do something?
Well, that's the thing, is you know yourself, guards kicked me out, YouTube's been arseholes, Medium, well, they just shut me down, walked everything out. So I've been sending.
You're on Parler, aren't you?
Parler, I'm on Parler, but I'm beginning to wonder about that as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
I'm seeing the stuff in my page that you get into your page to see what you've posted and stuff like that, right? But I'm almost certain for the past week that I've been seeing my inclusions posts within the feed, but now it's I've no got it.
I have no idea. But in case you do use it, do you know what it is, so people can find you?
What, in Parler?
Yeah.
I'm on Parler. I think it's the same as my YouTube.
What's your YouTube?
Cheers, Tom.
I don't know. You've been kicked off it. I can't see it.
You can't handle these truths.
Can't fucking find you anymore. You just been erased from everywhere. I'll tell you what we do. I will make a post at some point when you do have a place that you settle, and we will post out where you're going to be. How about that?
Right. Well, wait a minute.
Here we go. Wait a minute. I've got it. I've almost got it. I've nearly got it.
No, I'm right. It's you can't handle these truths.
Right. So spell it out for me, letter by letter.
All right. Y-O-U.
Yep.
C-A-N.
Yep.
T-H-A.
T. Say again.
T-H-A.
T-8.
H-A.
A.
Harry.
So, sorry, T-8-A, did you say?
Huh. And
Yep.
then N-D-L-E.
N-D-L-E.
T-H-E.
T-H-E.
S-E-T.
S-E-T, did you say? S-E-T.
R-U-T-H-S.
R-U-T.
H.
S or F?
S for sugar.
S for sugar. Right. Is that it?
That's it, aye.
That's the one there, guys. Oh, there we go. That's how to find Mr. Bodsky here.
But if you can't see them, I've been fucking shut down.
Well, we'll be so going. Bolton's made a comment here, and I agree with this wholeheartedly. When I looked into Parler, and they said, "Oh, Second Amendment, free speech, blah 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 blah," as soon as I saw we are regulated by the FCC, blah blah blah, I thought game over. And Bolton's just said, "Won't be long until Parler starts shutting the doors on people." In my opinion, I totally agree. I think the only one that we've got, and it not because it's wonderful with good intentions, but simply because it has a different ideology, and that is VK. That's not that they don't censor, they just don't censor the things that we talk about. If we were slagging off the Russian government or whatever, it might be different. What doesn't make sense, Gillian? What doesn't make sense? What have I said that doesn't make sense? I mean, I say a lot of things that don't make sense, but you know. Yeah, look, no, some Bolton's just said about your name. No wonder no one can find you. It's like a fucking password. He ain't wrong. He ain't wrong. That is exactly like the worst fucking name for people to be able to find you. You might have just put X0Y11111005. Do you know what I mean? Come and find me.
See, in my head,
why couldn't you have just put Bodsky? It would have been so much easier.
I know, but then you get carried away with it. That will fucking change next week anyway.
I love it.
Got to keep moving.
We got to get you sorted out with these names, man. Because we've got to get you hashtagged up as well, I think.
So that's been that. I suppose we can maybe go into the.
Well, I'll tell you what we do, because it's a nice place to wrap it up. And honestly, I know that we will expand into other areas, that's a promise. But I've been sort of looking at the comments and stuff, and I think that what we set out to do, maybe we've done part of. But you know, I mean, guys in the audience, that you've been listening to this story and that, and this surely humanizes Bodsky to all of you. And whether you believe in some of his other opinions or not, it's irrelevant. This is a real story, a real life story. And for me, it was what got me hooked in talking to you, Bob, when we first talked about that, because it's so intricate, and every time we talk about it, there's more that comes out, you know. So
cool.
So yeah, so we'll come back. We'll come back.
It's pointless waiting until you're in a situation to then start going, fuck, I wish I'd started looking at that, or I wish I'd looked into that. You know, the key is whether you believe me or not, and what I'm saying, it's flagging up what you could be looking into. Come back, and this is what always frustrates me, because obviously YouTube, you can't really write that much.
That's true.
But it's the situation. I'm fine with it, whatever banter or taking the piss or attacking me or whatever, right? But what pisses me off is the instant dismissal of certain things. If you're going to dismiss it, come back with a counterclaim if you want and say, this is a reason you're talking piss, you're a fraud. And I'd accept that. But it's when people online with the comments where you'll get, what that pish conspiracy, they're only wasting their time. I couldn't give two fucks. I know what I know, and that's it.
I'll tell you what, just to finish, you're getting a lot of love in the comments, mate. So obviously,
appreciated, guys.
Sorry, carry on.
No, I was just saying appreciated, thank you. I've no turned on, I've not been watching. Do you know what I mean? I don't think that's you see so many people when they're reading the comments as they go, you know, which is obviously easier when you're online, but I've had my face.
It is difficult because sometimes it can take my attention away, or I've got, you know, it's a balance.
No, You know what I mean? When you've got people on, they're distracted with the comments. I don't think that's a wise way to have that.
I'll be honest, if I was being interviewed, I wouldn't either. I would do it straight the way you're doing it. Because it gives you the ability to think.
Too easy to be drawn in with the negative comments. That skewers how you react, and then it's no, dare I say it, I don't want to turn into Mark Collette, but you got to watch the optics as well.
Oh no, don't use that word.
Don't get me started. But anyway, in fact, I'll tell you something just quickly before we fuck off.
Sure.
An old friend of mine who stays in the same estate, but his wife and me don't really go on. Everyone's on her head. Her life's a fucking sham. Her daughter's dead with heroin overdose. Her sister died in a fire, heroin overdose. So her life's pathetic herself. So just one of these bitches that just wants to fuck up everybody's happiness. I'd heard a rumour that her husband, my old pal, had been scratching cars. Right?
Oh.
50-year-old. About 50-year-olds are going, shut up, man. Anyway, it later transpires that the Indian guy that's got the post office down the end of the road, Jack had seen, and whatever had happened, they'd an altercation where he was calling them all the black bastards under the sun, and that's like, yeah, party this. The guy's an Indian, so I had a double done to him that somebody was calling him a Pakistani for a start.
Right.
Anyway. So 3 days later, I'm going, oh, I think the police are coming. And I come in the bike yesterday, the police were in. Now did they know where they'd been into, so I went, where the fuck are they? Where are they? They better not be hiding looking for me. That's where the cops had come out. So the cops fucked off, and I was hanging out the window last night, and I'm going, oh, you've been a naughty boy. He went, kinda. And I'd already knew what the allegation was, right? So I went, how have you been doing? He goes, oh, don't, Bod. He says, oh, fuck. He says, I've been shouting at the parkies. And I went, he's an Indian. They went, oh, you're talking. I went, I'm telling you, he's Indian. He went, well, I was calling the other thing, man. He was calling us this and that. And I just fucking tell him, I'll kill you, black bastard. I'm going to get you, fuck. I'll fucking burn your children. I say, so what's happening? I was more pissed off that the cops never took him away. How's he any fucking different?
Yeah, right, yeah. I hear you.
Right, so what the fuck's going on here? I goes, oh, you getting done with a ratio? He went, no, don't, Bod, kinda. And I went, nay, kinda, root it, you prick. I said, that's 7 year up your root. And he was like, fuck off, really? I goes, no, that's 7 year, especially at this climate, man.
Wow.
Especially to you. They'll make an example of you. See if they don't, that'll be another fucking letter written to the Justice Secretary.
See, I spoke to a guy tonight who I respect very much, but he's on the left, and he feels that we've been in a right-wing situation for the last 41 years, and I feel completely the opposite.
It's flipped and flopped, but again, it's always echo about fucking. It's the same.
I know that you don't always buy into right and left, and with that understood. Do you feel that the sum of the, let's say, qualities of the right and left have swapped over?
I know where you're coming from. Instantly, when you talk about left, right, the first thing that springs to my mind is the violence, right? And the violence was never really there on our side. It was there if it really got fucking up against it. Mm-hmm. But even now, with the taunting and the way the police are treating us. Now, don't forget, everybody has given the police their chance 3-4 years ago to choose and decide which side they want to take. They've made their choice.
They've chosen now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So that's the reason they're getting bigger sticks, is because the powers that be know that we're at breaking point, but for some reason we're not really doing any action. I know I've been banging on about it for 2 years, but that's what we're hitting. What do you feel about
the knee being taken?
What about the knee? What are you taking the knee for? A knee's a submission thing, which echoes submission to Islam. Listen, they've funded that. British ones seemingly funded with memory, MEMRI, that fucking Muslim Council of Britain. That's who's funding this shite here. Listen to I've done a bit of diving, and that George Floyd apparently died. I can't quite remember the line if I said, but let's say 2016. He never died that day. The family was offered 25 million to get photographs of him so that they could use that. See the shite that they used for Obama a couple of times when it looked as if it glitched.
So just for legal reasons, I think we're going to have to say alleged for the time being.
Alleged kind of CGI, high-tech kind of filtration. You know what I'm talking about. We're going to listen. Holograms are obviously making. There's been a couple of Obama ones that come out and it showed you it all pixelated. It wasn't there. It was, if anything, it was a green screen. But even at that, he looked a bit robotic. Anyway,
the deep fakes are frighteningly real.
So basically, this is what they're saying because there was a lead up to the George Floyd thing, but according to it was meant to be an open cast. And it was closed. Listen, there's folk ripped the arse right out of it. But similarly, George Floyd, the actual guy, died 2, 3, 5 years ago or something. And it's
I've been hearing
all
lots of things like this, but the trouble is, I hear them through the internet, and I don't trust much I hear on the internet, if that makes sense.
No, I know.
It's very difficult. It's very, very difficult. Sometimes I feel. I mean, with anything that I try and learn, I feel lost anyway, and I think that's maybe a good place to be because if you think you know it all, you're in a bad position. But when it comes to things like this, there's so much information, misinformation, disinformation. It's hard to know where to start, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But anything you want to say before we call it a day today, my friend?
Prince Andrew's fuck.
I would agree with that, mate. I would agree with that totally.
You know, the sad thing, I say that ironically because there's no danger he'll step foot in a court and there's no danger he'll ever step foot in prison. You know,
fully protected.
It's just, you know, there is questions to be answered. He has answered them, but there's still questions to be answered.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, you know, the Epstein thing, taking photographs in the cell, different angles, fucking, listen, he could be alive, sitting in a fucking desert island with Lady Princess Di and fucking Elvis, for all we know. Maybe no Elvis. But a lot of 5G because that causes shit. I'm only kidding.
Don't you start with that fucking 5G shit. We'll get there. I knew you'd do it. I knew you'd do it to me. Yeah, it wouldn't have been the right show if you didn't, would it? Eh? Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I do appreciate it, and also as well because we planned this a little while ago, and so I want to apologise for all the false starts. We did try, but I knew I was gonna find a way to fit you in. So I just thought I'd try and chase you today, and I thought I nearly messed it up, but found you. But we will continue from here. But I felt, I don't know if we've got it all out, but I felt that it was important to start with what you've told us today because it's very much the foundation of a lot of things you're doing now, isn't it? So so I'll just say thank you and see you next time, my friend.
Yeah, no problem. Bye, guys.
Thanks. Take care, Bod. Speak to you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
I'll be right back, guys. 1 second. And I'm back. There we go. I'm back. So that was the long-awaited interview with BODSKI. We've tried, we've had technical difficulties, we've had all kinds of things. My offer stands open. whether you're Amory Waters, whether you're Tommy Robinson, whether you're Joe Blogs, whether you're a guy that runs a bakery. I really don't give a shit. It's the stories that matter, and this was always as I've always said, it was a platform to give me a voice because I love the sound of my own voice. It was also to give a platform to anybody. I mean, especially focusing on working class, but all classes and anybody, high profile, low profile, middle, whatever, who's got a story, who's got something to say, and that it doesn't matter how big the channel gets or what guests we've got on. That not I'm putting Bod down there, but that is going to continue. And if you have a story, contact me. This is zeronews@gmail.com. I'm a little bit behind my emails, but not far. And from that email, we can arrange contact and stuff like that. All I ask, if you have a story and it's a big one, is that you have the proof to back it up. If you're going to make any kinds of claims or things like that. I will come and see people around the country if they want to show me stuff. It's basically not a lot I won't do. You've probably heard that. There's basically not a lot I won't do. Obviously, except walking in traps and throwing myself down manholes. But other than that, I'm pretty open to a lot of ideas. This is zeronews@gmail.com. Probably got it along the bottom of the screen somewhere. I ain't even bothered looking. Yeah. So on the 6th of July, we've got Richard Inman coming. 7th of July, we've got Amory Waters coming for a second time. 8th of July, oh crap, who am I missing? I think 8th of July is Sean Buchanan. But then who's on the 9th? There's someone else on the 9th. I can't remember who it is. Possibly the 10th as well. And then also coming up, we will be, see, for Britain, who I'm now a member of, so I can't claim no bias, but for Britain, that is, we all know for Britain via one person, Amory Waters. And that's awesome. She's awesome, brilliant, and all the rest of it. But if they've got any chance of changing anything, then it's no good me just bringing on Amory Waters 100 times because we'll like her. We know that. But Amory Waters can't sit in every seat around the country. So what we need to do to know that we can trust these people and to know who they are is we need to find out all the other big names in the party, how they feel, what their true feelings are, how they come across, how they represent themselves, and what their beliefs are, and everything else. So coming up, we're going to be going to start contact today, but I'm going to be contacting some of those people for Britain. I've been told that a lot of them, if not all of them, will be up for it. So we'll be bringing those people on, and we'll be interrogating with your questions and your help, hopefully, the people from for Britain, and hopefully we'll get used to them. We'll know they're not just their names, but we'll know a little bit about them, and we'll start to understand them. From what I've heard, there's some really decent characters with some quite strong opinions. So could be quite fun getting to know these people, and so there may be even recurring kind of people coming back. So we've got all that. Obviously, we're working with Rich doing certain stuff, and there's stuff going on all over the place. Plus, if I do disappear at times, I'm also working on a couple of mini documentaries as well. So there's a lot going on. Kaylee is going to Umbrella Grape Solutions. Go Sub is going to be helping out. I don't even want to tell you how she's going to be helping out yet because, well, one, that role is going to grow, but two, I just want it to happen and for you to see it. And that's all I'm going to say. But I think it's going to be really, really good. I'm paranoid this is going to go wrong, this green screen thing, because it really doesn't like working on here. So I think that's about it. Somebody asked me if I was going on, I think is it the 4th of August or something happened in August. I can't remember what it is. Yes, I'm going, but at the moment my brain doesn't even know what's happening tomorrow. And I think maybe, is this something going on the 10th of July? I don't know. If there is, tell me, because I completely have forgotten. It's because the year's going so quickly with such crap weather, and it's doing my head in. But I don't get to moan about that on this channel. So I'll be doing that on the other channel at some point soon. Anyway, I do appreciate you all joining me, and I think you'll all agree that BODSKI can come on here. He can make some outlandish comments, and it can be hard to gauge where he's coming from. But I asked him specifically to talk about this tonight, and he did. He kept his word, and he did it. And I felt personally, just my opinion, I felt he held great account of himself, and I do really thank him for coming on and doing that, because BODSKI and me are a bit alike in that we will jump around all over the place. We're a nightmare. But it was actually him that stuck with it tonight, and me that deviated. So I do want to thank him for that. I really appreciate it. And I want to thank all of you for joining us, because it's easy to come and join when it's a big name that you all know, but it's harder when it's someone you don't know as well. So thank you all for coming on. I really, really do appreciate it. BODSKI, I believe, is a good guy, and he will be on again. So I'm just having a quick look at your comments. Although a lot of these are getting what's the word, filtered to me, so I'm not seeing all your comments. Oh, sorry, Richard Inman. How can I forget Richard Inman? Richard Inman on the 6th of July. Anne-Marie Waters on the 7th of July. Did I say that before? I can't remember. Sean Buchanan on the 8th of July. And then the 9th and 10th I've still got to work out, because I've completely lost it. But there you go. Anyway, thank you, mods. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support that you've given me behind the scenes. No names mentioned, but you know who you are. In fact, whether it's monetary support, whether it's spiritual support, mental support, whatever, you know who you are, and I really appreciate it. And just genuinely, the people that have come watched and supported and everything else, I really appreciate that as well. Glenn Saffer is on the 8th, and he's going to give me shit that I forgot his name. I'm in trouble now. He's going to give me shit. Because he said to me the other day, it was really funny, and I wish he'd been on the show when he said it. I said to him, oh, I've got Richard Inman on the 6th. I've got Anne-Marie Waters on the 7th. Do you want to come on the 8th? And he went, oh, yeah, I'll go last. So now he's going to kill me, though. I forgot. So it's, oh, my good God. So it's Richard Inman on the 6th of July. I'll get this right. Anne-Marie Waters on the 7th of July. Glenn Saffer on the 8th of July. Glenn, I'm sorry. Don't kill me. And on the 9th of July, Sean Buchanan. And the 10th of July is an open slot for someone to fill. Got there. Jesus, what am I doing running a podcast? I'd be better running an ice cream stand with no ice cream in. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all. My name is Storm Fury. This is, my friends, Zero News. I know, what a dick. And I'm calling it a day for now. Love you all. Thanks so much for being here. I'm just letting it. I was going to do. Should we do? Hang on. Right. Uncomfortable pause completed. Catch you soon.